What's going on, y'all? I want to give you my review of the Manly Labs ELOP Plus. This was introduced in 2016 as a reissue to the original ELOP, which came out in 1991. This is Manly's stereo electro-optical vacuum tube limiter compressor. Electro-optical. I see what you did there, Manly. Manly says that they've re-engineered this from the ground up, and compared to the original ELOP, it now has a 3-to-1 ratio, and it also has a redesigned power supply. Let's take a look at the front panel. So here's the front panel of the Manly ELOP Plus, and as I'm talking about, I'm going to power it on so you can see the power up sequence that it goes through, which is kind of cool. It takes a few seconds to warm up, but you'll know when it's finished because you'll see the meters jump and it'll of course stop flashing. But if you're familiar with the original ELOP, you can see that this one has been redesigned and it does look more modern and a really sleek and nice looking unit here. I mean, when you see Manly gear, you know it's Manly gear because of the purple. Okay, so the ELOP is ready to go. So let's look at the front panel controls. So Manly did something, I'll just say weird here, I guess I'd say. But all of the buttons, well, most of the buttons are reversed for both channels. So channel 1, gain, reduction. On channel 2, you have reduction and then gain. So it's just kind of, it's reversed or backwards. It's just it takes time to get used to because you just naturally want to grab both buttons thinking that you're boosting the same thing and you're not here, which has already kind of messed me up a little bit. And the buttons below function the same way. They're in reverse. So let's take everything out here. So right here we have your high pass filter and you've got flat, and there's a jumper inside that you can set the high pass filter to 150 hertz, which is more what I would go for a high pass filter. The default is 80, but the jumpers weren't hard to get. Well, this first channel was kind of hard to get to. The second channel was easy, and that's maybe because I'm right-handed. It was easier for me to go in that way with my right hand. But you have high pass filter here, but over here you have the link and stereo. The high pass filter here is on the outside, so everything is coming in. You've got engage and bypass, engage and so that's in the same. Well, it's not in the same spot, but they're working their way back in. It's compress and limit. You got compress and limit, and then on channel 1 you can switch it to output or gain reduction, but on this side you have link and stereo. This link stereo is something that took me a minute to get used to because you would think that stereo would be linked, but in fact stereo on the ELOP is left and right independent, and link, which if you input you got link, that would links both channels. So controls are just it takes a little while of getting used to, but let's go ahead and go through some examples. So I'm going to show you a vocal, some drums, and using the ELOP on mixed bus. Okay, so I'm zoomed in on the first channel so you can see the gain reduction here. And so with the ELOP, when the button is out, it's the bottom, and when it's in, it's the top. So let's take the ELOP out, and I've got it set to compress right now. So I'm going to play this vocal, and it's on compress, which is a 3-to-1 ratio. And I'm going to bring it in and out, and as it loops, I'll switch over to the 10-to-1 ratio, which is the limit.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind, then I look at you, and the world is all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. Hey, hey, hey. up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world is all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. Hey.
So that last pass was with the 10-to-1 limit, and this compressor is not grabby at all. It's very smooth, and with the ELOP in, you can hear it get. It sounds thicker. It's a little more brighter. The ELOP adds some sheen. I'm just loving what this does to vocals. Let's move on to some drums. Okay, so on these drums, I've got the reduction. Well, see again, this is flipped, so that's not right. So there we go. So that'll be with the reduction all the way down. We'll start with the compressed, and I'm going to also bring the high pass filter in and out as well. But this is, okay, we're out right now. So we'll start with the 3-to-1 ratio on the drums, and then we'll switch over to the limit. Okay, hold on, something's not right there. Okay, so yeah, I've got to get used to these buttons being reversed. So out, compressor. Okay, here we go. Okay, now let's switch over to the limit. This is the 10-to-1 ratio. Okay. Okay, so we can hear that's more aggressive. I'm going to bring in the high pass filter, which is going to roll off 150 hertz in the compressor's detection circuit. Okay, so I'm really impressed with how this sounds on drum bus. I mean, other opto compressors I have just don't give that that full compressed sound, and even adding the sustain and everything with the compression here. Let's look at the ELOP now on mix bus. Okay, so using the ELOP on a mix bus here, and we've got it set to the 3-to-1 ratio right now. This is from Larissa J, and I'm going to start with it out, and then we'll bring it in.
Am I more than just a sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. 'Cause you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I'm falling short and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
Okay, and now let's try it with the limit, which is the 10-to-1 ratio.
Am I more than just a sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. 'Cause you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I'm falling short and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
So definitely getting more aggressive there with the 10-to-1 there. It's, not something I would use on mixed bus, but just giving you an example here. One thing to note, that when you have the ELOP in link mode, which links the two channels, you need to set both of them the same. It's not a compressor where when you put it in link, the left side controls both sides. So keep that in mind. But yeah, there's some examples of the ELOP Plus compared to my Warm Audio WA2A. I just find the ELOP to be fatter, smoother. I can hear a difference with the compressor and limit ratios with the WA2A. When I flip it from compressed to limit, I don't hear a difference with that, but I can really hear the compression need changing with the ELOP. Just so, for those wondering how it compares to that. And I may do a shootout with all of my opto compressors that I have, because I have a couple. So there's a look at the ELOP Plus from Manley. This one's been high on my wish list for a long time. Thank you, Manley, for the sale. Saved me a couple $100 on it. And this is one I'll be holding on to for a long time. All right, any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time. I want to invite everyone to check out my new podcast, the Faders Up Podcast. It's a podcast about pro audio. I've got me and 3 other Nashville professionals. We're discussing pro audio topics, pro audio lifestyle. And it's available on Apple Podcasts, and it's available on Spotify. So check it out, rate it, let me know what you think.